Okay, well, hello guys, sorry for the delay. It's been a bit of a traumatic one again. I am still getting Vulkan crashes, so even just sat here on the pan, taking the external scrolling up, and then just trying to do a 360 free look around, it's causing a crash, which doesn't happen. Sorry, just get the mic sorted, which doesn't happen in OpenGL, so disaster again for Vulkan. I'm going to do a lot more troubleshooting maybe this weekend. Take all the plugins out, try something. But anyway, here we are. I've just applied some power to the airplane to get it lit up a little. But first Qantas trip, the first trip to go from first Australia trip, ProjectFLY isn't working. There's no one on VATSIM. I haven't heard back from Virtual Qantas, so for the time being, this is just going to be effectively a free flight, and I'll probably try and upload it to ProjectFLY, VATSIM record. But it's a pretty short trip. From the OFP, it's a 37-minute flight time, 1 hour block time estimate with a scheduled flight time of 55 minutes. So we'll see how we get on. And one of the forum users said they were having trouble capturing the ILS at Canberra, so I thought we'd go and give it a go. I have got Ortho here, but we're probably not going to see it. Sunrise is not for another hour or two, I think. So first night flight for a while. Anyway, I had started 30 minutes before block time, well 30 minutes before blocks off, just to give us a bit of time to go through everything because it is such a short sector. I'm still going to do that, but it just might make us a little bit late. So hello to anyone that is watching, and if you are watching live, feel free to say hi and ask any questions that you may have, because what I suppose I think might be obvious probably isn't. So let's hop into the cockpit. As you can see, I've applied power to the airplane. All I've done on the overhead is set the lights up, turn the battery on, emergency exit lights on, and ground power. That's enough to get you going. So we've got AC power. We align, or at least start the IRS's aligning. 7 minutes to align, it's not too bad. Fuel damper can come on. As you're checking, just systematically go down each side, have a look, and just make sure all the settings are where you would expect them. Cabin utility IFE on. Belts and chimes can stay off for the time being. Igniters to right for the boat for the first start of the day. You don't need to switch those with the engines, you just leave them as they are. Diff pressure is 0. Hydraulic pumps can come on. And there they are. Can test the window heats. And they should come on, and then if it's warm enough they will go off. Trim air can come on. Set the cabin as you like it. Packs can come on. Leave the APU bleed off because the APU is not running. You can set it now if you find that you forget. Doesn't make a huge difference in the sim. So it's a very short leg. 260 is our cruise. And the elevation is pretty high actually. Our alternate is come back here, and there is some interesting weather en route. There's some CBs, some Sigmets or CBs, which are sat sort of pretty much just passing over Canberra, so we'll look at those as well in the brief. So 1900 just for the elevation, and that, ladies and gents, is the initial overhead scan done. Set that to an odd number. How are the frame rates doing? Not great. GPU is working hard here with all these lights, I think. So it might be a bit of a sketchy departure. Hopefully Canberra's a little less populated. I'm going to pop the airports on. We're in inches, but we should be HPA, hectopascals, millibars as we used to call them. Somehow the ILS is already tuned, so let's flick nav1 over. We'll set the MCP up, 25 is set, you can set these as you like. Water brake to RTA, the light comes on to test. Look here, hydraulic pressure we have. Test the takeoff config warning. Down onto the radio panel, set that up. 2000 is set the score, and it's set to standby, and then have the lights as you like them. So let's load the aeroplane up. And it's set to auto and auto, so all we've got is a 0 fuel weight. So we have to calculate the payload, take, there you go, the 0 fuel weight there of 43.1 away from 56.2, and that gives us 13.1 payload. So let's just see what we get if we pop that in. We get some packs and we get some bags. That'll do. And that then gives us a 0 fuel weight, 56.2. Exactly what we need. Our block fuel is 5.1 tons. And that's with a 15-minute additional reserve just in case we need to do any weather avoidance. You could be tempted to take a little bit more. I'll skip through and have a look, we'll get the fuel loading. And get the flight leg started. I haven't heard this announcement set before, so we'll see how we get on. We'll pop parking brake on now. Let's get rid of this one. And let's just have a look at our weather. There you go, a lot of SIGMETs there, and which ones cover us? I think I had it written down that it was Uniform 06 and Alpha 01. So Uniform 6, severe turbulence forecast within a funny shaped box, surface to 7,000, so relatively low. We might be skirting over the top of that one. And Alpha 01 for Brizzy, surface to 7 as well. So these are relatively low SIGMETs, but severe icing is certainly one to watch out for. And these stretch all the way down Melbourne and Tassie, so well worth making sure. And if you go on Sky Vector, you can see these drawn, which saves you having to plot these points. But certainly worth considering. So, departure weather, 1900, which was an hour and a half ago. 350 at 5, Cav OK, temperature 11, dew point 8, QNH 1016. We'll set that. We will update the weather. And if we have a look at the forecast weather, obviously our alternate is not included, but 350 at 16 is a fairly decent headwind. No cloud detected, 10k visibility and forecast, so bearing in mind that we're going to be arriving at, what are we looking at? We're going to be arriving at, forecast time's a little bit late, around 21:30. 01:20, and that's the weather we're going to get. Light showers of rain, scattered 2,000, broken 3,000, so 10k as well, not horrific. 010 at 14, so the wind's moving around a little bit. I haven't seen that before. Guess that's equivalent to tempo, but I can check. 5,000 meters in showers of rain, broken at 1,500 now. Broken does give us a ceiling that is above the aerodrome elevation, which is good. But it's worth having a look at the weather to have an idea before you go. So, with that in mind, let's jump into the FMC. Already asking for the IRS position. So we can clear that message, load up the FMC. The nav data is correct for both. If you're not using up-to-date nav data, A, please don't fly online, and B, just make sure that SIBbrief matches that nav data, and then you won't have any issues. You will, though, have issues trying to get hold of charts, because obviously any real-world charts will be current data, and any, which is why having a Navigraph subscription is just worth it. Keeps it all ticking over nicely. So, position. Let's pop in where we are. I'll leave this one off for the time being. We are at Yankee Sierra Sierra Yankee. We're on stand 42. Is it 4-2 or is it Bravo 4-2? I think it's just 4-2. I have no idea where Qantas actually operate from. GPS left position goes into the IRS. We'll load everything up. There it is. Knows where we are. And we are off to King Sierra Charlie Bravo. We are Qantas 1377. And the route is pretty simple. So let's go back to that and pop this in just to show you how you can do it manually. It's the termination endpoint of a star and then a very short segment of airway. Actually just between 2 points on an airway with nothing in between. It's only 51 miles long. Look at the en route chart. So we are going to Wollongong. NDB, Wollongong, yes, and not the DME at Wolverhampton, which is in the wrong hemisphere. Gross error check. Wollongong, and then Hotel 65, which is a high airway, which obviously as a jet we can make. Turbos would probably struggle to get up to our cruise in such a short distance. And then we are simply going to RAZZI. Now this is a different arrival to the user on the forum I had issue with. But never mind, it's very similar. It's just the airway is slightly offset compared to the other one. So it takes us to the same point of Hippo, Foxlow, etc. inbound. We'll have a look at the charts anyway. So we'll activate that and gross error check the distance. 100 something. Okay, so the departure is going to add a fair bit to that, but it's within a ballpark. We know what our zero fuel weight is. That will auto populate. Been told it doesn't do that on the runway. You've got to be at the gate. And of course, in reality, you get that from the load sheet. Thankfully, we can get it available. I think we are now fueled up because we've got 2560, 2560, which gives us 0 to carry the 1, 5120. Incidentally, this is a Ryanair format, which I'm just most familiar with flying for different virtual airlines. I'm not going to switch around to match their formats. I'm happy with this. It will just take me forever to work my way through it. And of course, in reality, you're going to be flying with an airline, so I'm just sorting out the gate. See, is that any better? Quite difficult for me to tell. I've just got a little green bar. Anyway, so our trip and taxi. Let me zoom in because I know it's difficult to see on YouTube, especially my aspect ratio. So 1884. I'm happy to call that 1 point. It may be quite a long taxi, and we'll talk about considerations for departure as well. Reserves 24, round up 25, round up 2.6 to get us back. 30 minutes minimum fuel. I don't know what the actual cost index is, but I've had a look and 8 seems to be relatively common. Up to 260 and top of climb wind 275. 6. The ISA deviation is M for -1. Happy takeoff performance we look at in a minute. So why don't we go on here, get the weather. So I'm going to get the weather from here and then I'll get it straight away for camera as well, just so we're updated. So it's now 20 Zulu, which is half an hour. That's 330 at 5, which, I mean, you could take a tailwind depending on performance. Cav OK, 12, 8, 1016. Oh, get this because have a huge amount of time in the cruise to grab it. We're not going to be in the cruise for very long. And of course you've got ATIS in reality to give it to you. This is an auto. So 34016, 10k plus. 2 slashes were sky obscured. We got scattered. 10,000, 10.5, 2.10, 7.013, so that'll help on the descent. 5,000 in rain showers, as we saw from the forecast. There goes severe turbulence below 5,000 feet, so we might get bumped around a fair amount. Interesting, maybe I should have done this with clear weather in daytime. Where would be the fun in that? So, there is no ATC online, but we are on VATSIM. So, let's have a look at the charts here. I'm just going to look initially at the aerodrome chart, because there's obviously a lot of briefing to read through before we go. Get the takeoff minimums as well. There's see why I that wrong. Go. And then departure wise, I got wrong twice. That'll do us. So you can see we're off heading towards the NDB. That's a pretty long leg, and it is an on-nav overlay. And it's 3-4 left, which is the longer of the two runways. Do not turn right parallel runway onto, which is fine. 800 feet left to 290, 260, and you confirmed this when you were getting the departure clearance. So that's going to be the DME that we're going to be running off of. And you can see here that this is the longer of the two runways. And so depending on performance, we've got AppSoft, which I'll try and bring up on the screen. Yes, it does work, so I can bring that up. We'll probably look for an intersection. Probably going to be unable to make that, but certainly Lima or Bravo 10, 0 should be an option. Otherwise we're going to have to go down, go across, all the way down, and Alpha 5, Alpha 6. I'm going to try and aim for an intersection to save all of that additional taxiing. That's why I've got this up, because there we go, additional runway information. Have we got, there we go, intersection departures, which is what we need. So I am going to this up. 3-4 left, the weather is still indicated. The weather you can update from VATSIM, and that matches 3305. It's interesting. Let's try. Oh, okay. So VATSIM hasn't updated. We're getting it from Active Sky XP, so that's what we. And so clearly, I don't know where Zibo gets its ATIS from. Maybe it pass. There's our planned takeoff weight, our estimated takeoff weight. We can check that that matches up. So we can do that initial calculation, and you can see that we can take the full length of 3-4. Oh no, I've picked wrong. No, 3-4 left is the runway we. And so that's our max D rate that we can take, which is 22K 34. And that requires, as you can see there, a takeoff run required of 2110 with a stop margin of 1852. So that means that we would need Bravo 10. We'll turn that off, just for the time being. So Bravo 10, even with that max D rate we can take, but what that will do is reduce the stop margin, which isn't the end of the world. So if we pop the Tora of 2546 in, clear way, stop way we don't need, and to that you can see that we can take 22K 34, which is exactly the same. Takeoff run required is still the same with flap 5, but you can see our stop margin has reduced to 436 meters, but we can go from Bravo 10. So runway 34 left, we're right on the OFP. Bravo 10, flap 5, 22K, and an assumed limit of 3-4. Bleeds are, of course, on. It's not bleeds off takeoff. And so we pop that in, 22K, 34 degrees. Pop the wind in. Now I am going to quickly scan through the departure charts, but of course you want to spend some time reading through these to see if there is anything. There's a lot about taxi routes. I can't see anything about departures. Noise abatement, there we go, it's in the reference charts. So it gives preferential runway, which is fine. Dry runway is max crosswind 20 knots, max tailwind 5 knots. Wet runway is no tailwind with a crosswind of 20 knots or 15 knots with a tailwind 5 knots. Flight paths. Wow, there's a lot of noise abatement here. No training, curfew, aircraft operations, available runways, exemptions, dispensations, reverse thrust. Minimum reverse is what it says. Noise abatement continued 5. Flight corridors, fine. Gives flight corridors for each runway. Heaven forbid people would that they were using being next to an airport. Anyway, so what we will do is go sympathetic. They would probably want 1500 reduction and then up to, which is going to hurt our performance slightly. So runway wind 330, 5, put the slope in, flap 5, we can do the CG because we are loaded, looks like 5 to me, and there we go, 135, 136, 141, so they're within 1 knot, so we can set that. Make sure you set 141 V2 set on the MCP speed, and the MFRA there is 1100, so we'll set that. Minimum flap retraction, oh, that's almost bang on, and that's it for the takeoff performance. So I'm going to minimise that and get it off your screen, and there we are, back in the game. So departure wise, back into the FMC, 3-4 left, yes, 1-2, yes, and check the chart. So the runway heading looks like it is 335. So much for the noise gate, so it doesn't pick me up speaking, but it does manage to get a cough even when I move the microphone out of the way, which is less than ideal. So 335. We are going to maintain that until 800 feet, and then we are going to be left 290. So I'm just going to pop this here to remind me. We're going to be left 260. So let's see that. 800, yes. 210 DME, 290, yes. Then 260, and after passing 7,000, left direct ANCUB. Now, I don't think the mod will fly these correctly. ANCUB, direct, 182 Wollongong, and will be 260 by then, and then direct RAZZI. Now, because it's such a short flight, I'm going to pop the arrival in. In America it's not so bad because the arrivals are for multiple runways. In Europe, in Australia by the looks of things, it makes a bit of a difference. So we're going to expect RAZZI 6 Alpha. There we go, and we'll decide on the approach when we get there. It'll be one of the ILS's, but we'll have a look at the charts and see what the difference is, although we really should brief them both now because it is such a short flight. And of course you can do all of this when you're doing your own flight prep. So I'm going to load both those charts up on the iPad. What's the difference? Let's play spot the difference. So it looks like it's due to missed approach climate gradients. And weather minimum based on forecast QNH. So we won't go into all that detail because it's a little bit much, but anyway, it's not going to make much difference. So oh no, maybe I'm wrong. No, it isn't climate gradient, so it's just quite small on the iPad. Looking at the nav aids, DME arc, there is not a lot between these two. Struggling to see the difference. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to pick the Zulu via Menzi. And so that is the initial approach fix. There is no transition for these, and we'll have a look at the chart for the briefing inbound, but doing that now just so there's a bit less to do. Of course, you've got to step through these and make sure that Slick, Foxlow, Gibbill with a speed restriction, and then Menzi. Then there's the approach. You've got to check all of those, make sure they match the correct runway. Happy so far. So that's us effectively good to go. We do have to brief that departure. We can tune in some of these nav aids. So 1121. So we'll do it that way. Any other nav aids? No, we're just going to be going direct. And I'm going to pop it on F1. Can tune the ILS on standby for the runway if you are worried that you might have an engine failure on the back. 239 I'm going to make available on both. There we go. So DME from Sydney, and it is a VOR, so you can see that there is, it's picking up direction from both. We want the Wollongong NDB, it's on. Is there a stop altitude on this? No. But you can certainly see, what I will do is set 10,000 initially, and you can read through the departure, power runway operations, 335, 800 left, 290 track, 10 DME. I don't think it's going to do this, so we'll probably do this in heading rather than hand fly it, just so I can free up a bit of capacity to talk. Got the departure frequencies. It's essentially it. You can put in, if you want, around the using the fixed rings, the MSAs if you want, and in pretty sketchy weather you definitely want to consider that. That's the height you climb to make sure you avoid any terrain. And so within 10 miles it's 2,100, and out to 25 miles from the aerodrome reference point. So you will use, I might as well show you instead of just talking about it. We can use the fixed page here. YSSY will take the aerodrome reference point, or you can pop in a /10 mile fixed ring, pop in a /25 mile fixed ring for situational awareness. They should show up. So there's been a couple of people on forums that said they don't work. There they go, they work. So back to takeoff page, next page, good way to have it set up. Hydraulic pressure we have. So let's get one of the forward pumps on, get the APU started. Get the aeroplane ready to depart. Read through all of the charts. So I'm not too sure about the taxi routes, but like I said, there is nobody online. Let's put Unicom back on. Something like that should do us.
Ground to cockpit, show you we got your plan there. Give me a call through the menu when you're ready to go.
Got an Aussie voice. So, let's pop the flight director on master my side. Ready to go. The MCP set, that would obviously be set to your cleared altitude. Runway heading, nav aids as required. V2, V2. The APU is now available on the bus. Now that's something new from Xpilot that I don't want, but I don't think, I can't see any way to turn that off, so I'm going to add that as a suggestion that that's irritating. I want the option of having messages shown rather than it showing up. Oh, I tell you what, it might be an option yeah, mightn't it? Xpilot, there we go. Text message console, notification bar, disable TCAS. Okay, can't turn that off, that's going to be irritating. Let's try preferences. Okay, there we go. Notification bar, 10 seconds disappear. Cool, so that's just a setting change, but it's a little irritating. Fixed. So, APU is on the bus, so we can get the APU bleed on, and I'll get the aeroplane actually warming up because it's relatively cold in wintry Australia. And we are looking on getting ready to go. So, let's shut the door. I'll tell you one thing we should do. Pop the belts on. I'll tell people to sit down.
Captain Hudson on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt.
PA system
Just as a
settings.
reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead
2,
bins are closed
3,
and all passengers
4,
are seated.
United, Southwest, American, Delta 1, Ryanair, TUI fly, German.
Okay, no Aussies. When does this stop?
3,
Alright, that'll have to do. Whatever. So, let's get the
Ground to cockpit,
pushback on its way.
toast driving up right now.
We'll come through the wall. And we're going to make sure that is connected before we call ready to push and start, even if we are just on traffic. Seeing as there's no one online, let's have a look at the radar on my iPad. Oh, there's actually a few people here. Jetstar, ah yes, I remember there being a separate terminal for Jetstar. Anyway, we're going to taxi however the hell we think we like.
Alright, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Just have a little look inside.
Entering runway 24 left.
Pretty good. Let's get the logo off, it's not making much difference. And we'll pop all the pumps on. Gonna put that on. We wouldn't do this until we were cleared normally. Engine display, pumps on, pop the beacon on. You wouldn't do that until you were cleared because that stops vehicles. Once the cabin is secure, we are ready to go. So it's going to be...
So connected and bypass been inserted. Release the parking brake when you're ready.
5120. That's what we loaded.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
So let's just get the charts up. Tell people where we are. Oh no. Airport info, stands. Parking courts, that's what we want. Sydney traffic, Qantas 1377, push and start, stand 42. 55.
Alright, starting the
25 minutes
pushback,
late.
and you may spool them. Clear to start engines.
Got 2550. I'll tell you what, I started the wrong. Start the clock.
Traffic, just start 720, line up and wait runway 34 left.
There we go. On our way. Let's just make sure. Looking pretty good. Maybe this was good timing. Maybe it wasn't. Pretty late for me. So we have got that one. I've got that one available. We're not going to need it on here. Get these charts and load up the camera ones. So got SE6 Alpha. To LS Zulu 35. That's what we're using. I'll load up the rest of the plates in a bit. Let's get these engines started. One thing I haven't done is put the descent forecast in, so I'll have to remember to do that in the climb. Packs off. Start engine number 2. So what we'll do is, I'll leave it, I'll alarm LNAV VNAV for departure, and we'll see if it turns at 800. If it doesn't, we'll switch to heading. 25%. Bit slow, but anyway, fuel's on.
Alright mate, operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Brake set.
Alright mate, disconnecting toes, stand by.
Okay, disconnect we can. Start engine number 1.
So it's disconnected. Bypass pin, yeah, it's removed. I'll give you thumbs up on the right and catch you next time. Have a safe flight.
So again, looking for 25% fuel on.
Sydney traffic, get start 720, picking up from runway 34 left.
Starter cut out. And I've got 2 stable engines, 2, 4, 6, 3. Is that lad with the pin? He's gone off with it, so we're going to assume that we've seen it. And off the before taxi flow. After start, before taxi, whichever you want to call it. So we've seen the pin, flap 5. Flight controls, full forward, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder, checked. Trim is set. Was checked, and the before taxi checklist. Generators on, no lights, APUs off, start switches continuous, anti-ice not required. Probe heats are on, and in the climb if we do need any anti-ice. May do in the initial climb because it's only 13 degrees on the ground if we get into any cloud. Air conditioning, packs auto, bleeds on, isolation valve, auto. Flap 5 required, 5 set, green light. Stack trim 5 required, 5 set. Start levers 2, idle detent. Flight controls checked, recalls checked, we are ready to taxi.
Whiskey Oscar Lima 2, procedure climbing through 5,000 feet to flight level 360.
Great, that's a lot of chat. So I managed to lose the taxi chart. Got the airport briefing. Pretty cluttered. Chart is really difficult to see. So, what are we on here? Domestic 3. I think we're going to taxi all the way to Gulf. Sydney traffic, Qantas 1377, taxiing from Domestic 3 via Golf Bravo to hold short Bravo 10, runway 34 left. So self-cleared, lights on, clear left, clear right, back to the front, brakes off, configs checked, off we go. Okay, maybe there's a one-way system going on here, but there's nobody online. Interesting, I wonder if this aeroplane has had a refurb, because it's quite an old aeroplane, but it has the new LEDs lights, so that could just be an error, of course. Got no nose wheel. Stick does it. So we are turning around Golf, and it'll be second left onto Bravo. Usually textures are looking pretty good for the tarmac. So like I said, for departure, I want to see what LNAV VNAV does for this departure because it's based on restraints rather than points. I think it will be following on points. I'm not going to cross this runway. Get the weather radar on. Get terrain radar on. The MSAs are not significant here. Good point. It looks like it's been painted on rather than signage, but it's good effort. Somebody's put a lot of effort into this airport. Don't forget, a lot of these are just made by people that submit it to the Xplane gateway. So, you know, volunteers creating stuff.
9 Charlie Bravo, crossing back at Sydney, catching up to Bombay.
A? No idea what he said. Any traffic. Qantas 1377, crossing runway 0725 at Bravo. Of course, give it a check. Pop the strobes on.
Approaching 07.
Does that work if I do that? No, it doesn't. We are going to go all the way down, almost to the end of Bravo. If we get to Lima, it doesn't matter. Just have an extra bit of takeoff run available. City traffic. Qantas 1377, runway 0725 vacated. So VATSIM does add an extra dimension. This could get confusing down here. We're just going to go pretty much straight across. See the Bravo 7 or Bravo 9 over there. High speed exit. You can see a little no entry sign there as well. So all the way down, it should be first right Bravo 10. So to be expeditious, get the cabin secure.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
So cabin secure. You ever asked if you can expedite, you want to got these things out of the way first. So flap 5, 5 sec, green light, 41, 141, trip 5, set 5. Cleared for takeoff. Transponder goes on TARA. Check the recall. Lights come on. Left the strobes on. To go. Bravo 10 here. Not that it matters if we go a little bit further to Lima. So we're going to chart up. Sydney traffic, Qantas 1377, lining up and taking off runway 13 left via Bravo 10, Wollongong 2 departure. So, not heard anything. There's the bay out there. Somewhere around here, Captain Cook landed in Australia. This is Fort Boys Ortho. Overlays, there's no Europe here. So, look down here, you can zoom in if you want to see if there's anybody about. Hello Rick. Welcome to Aussie land. We are lining up. So, it is going to be
On runway 34 left.
There we go, we've lined up. I'm going to come to a stop just to get everything written down. It's going to be 2108 I reckon by the time we get going. 2490, 2500 tons on board. Kilos actually. 40%. Brakes off. 40% engine stable. So manually add the power. Press toga, forward pressure on the controls. keep your left hand 80 knots, so neutralise the forward pressure, keep your left hand on the throttle, or right, depending which you use. Smaller inputs of rudder.
V1, rotate.
3 seconds.
Positive
10
rate.
degrees, positive rate. Gear up. Onto the flight directors. Trim if you need to, but you shouldn't have to. There's a little bit of quiet there.
400.
So, let's go see if 800 feet, no, the airplane.
1,000.
So, left 290. Oh, I thought this was going to be HD quality ortho. Looks pants. So we want to track 290, so the wind as it is, we have to offset the heading slightly. 3,000 feet, the airplane will bug up. Won't bug up. There you go, 290, so let's leave it there. So 10 DME will turn left, but we're going to get to 7,000 before that, I reckon. There's the aeroplane accelerating. Flap 1. Make sure we need to plus 20. Select flap 1. Accelerating trend vector. See, pretty sluggish with that D rate. Passing flap 1. Flap up, we're still tracking to 90 just about. So, passing flap up, flaps are up, water brake off, up, no lights, gear up and off, start switches can go to off. Got 4 pumps, aeroplane is pressurising, it's checked, now we can release the crew. So we're waiting for 10 DME, and then we are turning left to 260, and above 7, we will then turn direct to Ancub. Hello Terry. So depending on which one we meet first, we might end up going 10 DME straight to Ancub. So I'm going to set 260 here. Once, twice, 3 times, set the flight level. So 10 DME, we are going to go direct to Ancub, because I don't think that's going to work. Do have to wait until 10 DME. You can see we're pretty much back into wind, so I need to pay better attention to that. 10 DME, round to the left we go. And with that in mind, we can go on to L now, see what it does. Tightens on that turn pretty interestingly. And if anyone wants to correct me on that departure, I think that was alright. It is awful. Maybe I'll have to redo some of this ortho. Overlay's pretty good. So we're past 10,000. I'm going to reselect that just to make sure we get on path. Lights can come off. It goes off anyway. Okay. Pressure diff is 4.5, cabin is about 1.5. 4 pumps. And the pack's out. Off we go. Look and see what that departure looked like. Bad. There's Ancub. There is the glorious town of Sydney. You can see the bridge. You can see the Opera House. you've been there. See that big old airport. Beta 13. Oh, sounds good. VATSIM is good, it's well worth getting into. Glad Beta 13 is working out for you. This is still OpenGL for me. Vulkan is still not playing ball. So I've got some real troubleshooting to do. So there you go, you can see the Wollongong NDB. And we are going direct to it. Expect a bit of turbulence on the way over. So you can see the aeroplane is hunting a little bit there.
Traffic, Maxwell and Brother, crossing Mummy 34 left out, 10.
So he's doing similar to what we did. So 1013 I'm going to set before top of climb. 110 check left. It's 20. What I'm going to do is put the descent forecast in. We know it's 1013. Transition level is 0. So we are going to have 200. Oh no, we've got 25, haven't we? No, we have 200, 15, 100. Pop those in a moment. And you can see we'll step through the arrival, and then it's not long until the top of descent. That's 50 miles, so that's going to be 20. What have we got? 30 something miles before top of descent, depending on what the forecast winds are. Oh, even that's looking pretty bad, isn't it? Maybe I'll have to do all of this ortho for myself. Maybe the quality of the ortho is just pretty bad for Australia. Anyway, passing 200, last 10 check, diff 6.5. Cabin's not going to be very high today. The diff pressure will still creep up to about 8, but it will just mean we've got much lower cabin altitude for the cruise. So let's put these in from the OFP. Got 284. 62. Let's see what that does to the top of descent. We've got 297. 59 is relatively strong. 30166. Okay, yep, it did move it. You can see because we've got a bit more of a headwind, it moves it closer in. So, happy with that. We've just got to figure out our arrival. So, let's get rid of Sydney. So there's a fair few nav aids to tune here, 263, and of course you could do these with two of you on the ground before departure. You could do it on the ground yourself if you want to spend a long time setting up. So 116, 7. Any other nav aids? Well, this is 1095, which we will be using. And that's it. There are some restricted areas. Not sure what they're about, don't know the LGS space very well. But we've got some interesting MSAs, and you can put these on 5,110 nautical miles. Probably not going to put that in just because I get confused with AIRBORNE 10 DME fixed ring. Coming up to 1,000 to go, so we've already got a rough idea of where we're going to be going. On arrival,
1,000 to go.
airport info. The takeoff minimums is good because of width, which is quite useful. So runway width 1230 is slightly narrower, and 150-45 metres is standard runway width. Of course, if the runway looks narrower, you're going to think you're high on the approach, and if it's wider, you're going to think you're low on the approach, so it's always worth checking there. And parking stands, that's just coordinates. Does this have the stands on it? Midnight Bravo. It's 10 Night Bravo, so those are the charts we need for arrival. That's a really busy old chart, isn't it? Anyway, that's going to be our runway. There are no high-speed exits, although that's not, Foxtrot's not going to be too slow. Depending on the auto brake setting, you can expect to vacate Delta or Foxtrot. That's the terminal that we're going to be going off to. Your overhead Wollongong can update the flight log if you are using one. So let's get these up. Step through. So there are no height restrictions on this arrival. We step through that. We can have a look here. The side-on profile at Menzi 5.4. It's a platform altitude, but okay, we can go above that. Katia 5.4 above, yes. And what we could do is you could make that a platform. VNAV should handle it, but if you found VNAV was consistently getting you fast, then all we have to do is pop 5400 in here. It's better to have a continuous descent. You don't have to do it for that one, although obviously you could, because you're going to be there anyway. And intercepting 5100, 46. So as you can see here, glide slope, minimum altitudes, actual glide 3140. Got runway 35. Actually can overwrite that one now, and we can pop in our 10-mile gate. You can put in 30 for information. What I'll do is I'm going to set that to 10,000 just so we don't miss it. Let's get the weather again. Just to see what we're up against. 30, 10k scattered, 1,900 broken, it's out, ceiling, light rain of 310 and 15, so you need to write these down for the landing performance. So we'll still be VMC, so 4 miles to configure. Like I said, we can put the MSAs in, going to, for this one, so 310, 15, 10 plus, slight or light rain. So 10, 8, 1015, so the pressure has changed. So let's update the descent forecast. That will make a small difference to the descent profile, and it does work. What we need to know for landing is what we think we're going to land with, so we're going to knock 400 off of here. Which means that we are going to be 59.6. Pop that in so you remember it. And onto the performance landing, so 3.5, we've got our wind, 310, 15, temperature 10, 015, landing weight's going to be 59.6 tons, try flap 30 to start with, VREFs plus 6, you can see that we'll make it even with 1, so we'll use 2, just so we don't get too far and have to taxi back too far. That's giving us VREF 30 plus 6 of 148, 142. Double tap that. You don't have to update this. I'm going to. And I don't have a way to calculate this approach climb gradient, so I'm going to take that. Anyway, let's calculate it using the OPT. It's a barrow minimum, 201 feet, but it is wholly barrow. There is the aeroplane. Prepping for the descent, so make sure your throttles are at idle. And I have to say to John on the forums, this is a really short sector to be getting to grips with. You might like it as a trip, but it's really busy unless you just want to sit there and watch. Yeah, it's not good for sitting and watching the world go by. There's quite a lot to cram in a short amount of time. So I am going to put 1095 on left, and what I'm not going to do is I'm just going to do one side. I'm going to leave the VOR on the other. The missed approach on that is 348, so we can set 348 on both. I'll tell you what I will do. I will set at 250 because we're coming in for this sector, the 7.5. There's that 250. See our fixed rings. For our runway, match heading just in case. Set the auto brake. So 348, yes. 1095, your Charlie Bravo, yes. One thing I am going to check is make sure disable downwind ILS is not on. So all the ILSs are on. Although there is only one at Canberra, but it's not going to turn off. If you have that and the wind changes, it will turn off. Always identify and tune the ILS. We have got the NDB, we can pop the NDB, and it still is on one. The VOR is on 2, and we've got the ILS tuned as well. 1095, 348, 3140 we should be at Damco, ILS 2070, 2070 set, and there we are, top of descent. So you can see it's very, very busy. We are inbound, and I'm just going to let the airplane fly this, see how we get on. Once we are at inbound Menzi, I will arm the localizer. We will be below it because we have asked VNAV to program that in. We can fine tune that. We don't have to level off, but it's a good way of managing energy if we need to. So you can see we're going to be Menzi at 5.4, so we really are going to be flat there. As we come in towards Menzi, we have to give on 205, so we shouldn't actually need it, but we'll see. The level segment is not great, so as long as we have slowed, that will be a flat 1 point at 205. Can't see it on the speed tape yet, but it will be. And if we need to go to vertical speed just to make sure that we maintain a continuous descent, we can do that. But it's all about using the automation to make your life easier rather than make things harder. The profile is looking pretty good, it's on speed. Is there a bit of turbulence? It seems to be hunting a little bit. Is that sort of like an oscillation, or is that actually just the outside weather? I wouldn't know without turning it off, so can't comment on that. It's late anyway. Is it 10 at home? For an early morning Aussie trip. Camera traffic, Qantas 1377, RAZZI 6 Alpha, inbound ILS 35. Overhead RAZZI, flight level 220. So, it's 214. Won't be that for the heading, due to the wind. Sent down. The airplane you can see is depressurising. The cabin out only went up to about 4,000. So there we are inbound. Have be briefed, you can use the briefing strip like I did. I don't know if you noticed that, but you can use that briefing strip to go over it. Is the elevation correct? Yes, approximately. Missed approach straight ahead to 5,100. As directed, so that's it. See, interestingly there, no circling west. Why that is, maybe some obstacles in that area, maybe it's that. Yeah, that might do it. 1,000 foot-miles by the looks of things. Anyway, -6 as we go into these clouds, we will be anti-ice, so I'm going to put the start switches to continuous already. Little flyby. Stuttery there. Just about holding out with open geo. This is us inbound slick. From the chart. 6 miles, 8 miles. Minimum altitudes for the legs, so we don't want to descend below. You can see there 5.4. 5.4 is your lowest point there to correspond with 5,100 is close enough in 10 miles. A little bit above that, but see there 5,100, but we are going to be outside of those bounds. See the MSA repeated there. Camera VOR. There you go, our MSA is 7.5, so set that. As we are on the procedure, we can go lower. Obviously don't drift off of this, but if you were to end up IMC and then to deviate off this, maybe if you were on a heading or something, then you would definitely have to climb up to 7.5. Just using that as a reminder. There you go, but you can see Squawk 7000 comply with VNAV, but not below MSA. Because that will stop you hitting stuff. So I have that one loaded and ready. I hope you guys can see it. It's difficult to get it right size for me. Still below 10 degrees, we're just about to enter clouds, so we can pop the engine anti-ice on. We can do. We can turn those up, turn those off. Just so it's a little bit easier to read. Oh, I thought we were going into cloud there, but we're not. It's going to hit the frames a little bit. Can't wait until this is all volumetric and looking nice. And I mean, this is quite a nice arrival, to be honest. I mean, if this was something that you're going to customise yourself, it's pretty much what you do. Got a base leg here, ish. Turn those off because that's cheating. This gets you effectively to a base leg and then onto an intercept, because we're looking at 25, 48, you know, less than 30 degrees. Should be pretty nice. So certainly from this point, I will arm or lock. See how we get on. It is important to be on that profile. To the rain, yes, we definitely needed that. Our frames have actually gone up. I'm going to pop a wing anti-ice on. That's the only reason I've ever crashed an Xplane, is twice due to icing. So 1.5, didn't update that. I'm going to assume we're cleared to descend to an altitude, so I'm going to set it. There's our 10,000 foot decel point coming up. So let's have a little zoom in. This isn't night rain. Things are doing alright. expecting it to get a little bit bumpy in the descent. So we should be decelerating, but the aeroplane is struggling ever so slightly. See the ILS has come alive already now. We're a little bit below profile, so the airplane is just a little bit sluggish to pick that back up. But there we are, almost back on it. Still in some interesting range, below 250, up to 100, so pop the lights on. The packs are already sat down. You wouldn't leave the wing anti-ice on in reality, but I'm going to. There should be the aeroplane descending, so VNAV's doing a pretty good job there. See, it's a pretty stiff crosswind. Or is that snow? Right sideways. So, before you use the ILS, you need to tune and identify it. So it's tuned on the left side only. I think my update is... No, I'll leave it as it is. 250. There's the ident. You listen to the Morse in reality, but big jets, it will decode it for you. 348 India Charlie Bravo. If you really want to, you can hear the Morse. I'm sure we've done that before. Dot dot. Dot it, dot it, dot it, did it.
Thousand to go.
So, back to this one, we can go down to 6-7. And then once we are within 1 mile of Foxlow, we can drop down to 5-4. There we go. Guess it only picks up within 15 miles.
1,000 to go.
So down 5-4. DME should be the 4th one. Different pitch. Maybe that's not modelled. I don't think it is. Anyway, drag required is listed. The airplane is going to struggle to slow down, so it's a good thing we did put that little level segment in. Just going to leave it and see what it does. In reality, by all means intervene, don't let things get worse. So, it's going to be 325. See why you need these up high. Let's check. There's the glide slope coming in already. We've tuned, identified. Doesn't matter that we're a little bit quick. That is going to slow down. It's bug 205, which is maybe 1 knot above the flap up speed. So it's 205 or below. We could sneak in at 205. So here is us on an intercept. We would have been cleared for the approach at this point. Down to 5-4, 325.
1,000 to go.
So I'm going to arm Warlock. We're still in LNAV. Warlock is armed. And I'm happy that we're going to make that restriction. So let's reduce this down. We don't want to intercept and capture the glide before on the localizer. You need to be in protected zone. Aeroplane has rolled out slightly early there. Could have kept that going around a bit better. But now with a 1 dot we can set an arm approach, vertical speed we're still in, and I'm just bringing that back. You can see the terrain here is pretty cool. The airplane has managed to overshoot that. I'm going to go flap 1, match speed.
2500.
VNAV, the airplane will match speed for you. And ideally on the glide slope you want to be flap 5. So what I'll do is I'll let it just creep. Glide slope will capture in a moment, localizer already has. There's the approach. It's checked. Camera traffic, Qantas 1377. Established ILS 35, 12 miles. So the missed approach is 5-1. We've captured the glide slope, so we're not going to out-acquire. And you can see that the airplane will come down slightly above idle. So you've got a little bit to play with a headwind. You're able to slow the airplane down. You can see it's getting pretty bumpy. Let's get the crew sat down. Start switches are continuous. I'm going to leave all the anti-ice on. The airplane's struggling. Promise I'm going to get a decent landing out of this, but we've captured the ILS. Hasn't disappeared yet. So we've met our 10-mile fixed ring, and that's interesting. I think somebody did say they disappeared slightly there. Certainly is bumpy. So you see the airplane will, if you need to do a high speed until 6 miles, something like that, you can do it at flap 1. You at least need some flap. Ideally, flap 5 will give you a slightly more stable approach, expensive, slightly more fuel. You have to keep an eye on the DME because those fixed rings are disappearing. And as you can see, you don't need the ILS set the other side. Whichever side is active, that's all you need. Most airline SOPs will be set both sides because the FO needs to sit and monitor as well. Of course we don't have one, so it doesn't matter. So don't take it as gospel that you absolutely have to do that. The airplane is flying the approach pretty fine as it is. You can see with a headwind we are still coming back gradually, but we're getting there. So VMC 4 miles, this is, once we pop out this cloud, it is VMC. It's not now, but it was. Just about to see through it. There we go. That is legal. So 4 miles will be geared out flap 15. The mist is straight ahead to 5,100, which is set. 4 miles of early geared out. Flap 15 match speed. And of course you can do all this by hand. The automation just makes your life easier. That's what it should be for. Hello. Didn't like that. Camera traffic. Qantas 1377 final. ILS 35, 3 miles. So we've self-cleared to land. Let's see anyone. And we don't have to be stable landing flat until 500 feet VMC. 48. Take the anti-ice off. Frame rates are still holding out.
Approaching. 3,
Speed brake
5.
armed. Water brake 2 set. Flap 30. Stable landing speed. Gear down 3 green. Start switch is continuous. Recalls checked. We cleared to land. So we're nice and stable. Disconnect the auto throttle. Disconnect. Well, a little bit out of trip. A bit slow. A little bit high.
400.
Quite a long runway. Push that rate of descent. Make sure
300.
we're over 1,000 feet a minute unless pre-briefed.
Approaching
Is
minimums.
a go around. Difficult to monitor yourself.
200.
So it will be a little bit long, but we've got
Minimums.
enough runway to play with. Let's continue.
1 100. 50, 40, 30,
Check.
20,
Close.
10,
Hold the attitude.
Long landing. Long landing. 6,000 feet remaining.
So with my viewpoint, it's a little bit different. Yeah. See, we're taxiing. We need to put the reversers away at that point. Go to manual braking.
80 knots.
What I do is that. I suppose I could get used to that view. There is us. To Canberra. Oh, I managed to not set the timer. I'm pretty. Took a time. Pretty sure I did. Right. So let's get cleared. Canberra traffic. Qantas 1377 runway vacated. So captain's drills. Draw the speed brakes up. Ooh. Whilst taxiing. Going over to that terminal over there. So that's already set to an odd number. Get the flaps up. Turn all the nav aids off. Off come on the lights. Should have done those first, never mind. And you can have a look at the brake temperatures there if you want. A little bit high. Down the transponder. So, where are we going? We have to go down to Delta and Cross. We can't go anywhere else. So this is Delta. Camera traffic. Qantas 1377 crossing runway 35 via Delta.
Approaching
Easier for
17.
taxi. Suppose I could have had it a bit further back, but it's just a little bit low. Once you get used to your landing position, it's only in the rain that it's a problem. You shouldn't really stick to it, otherwise it's going to mess you up. Anyway, no landing rate on that, but we'll have a look and see what Zibo says in a moment. Camera traffic. Qantas 1377 runway vacated. I guess we can go via Juliet, which is this one. Got another runway to cross. No idea where to park in this terminal. Zibo says the landing was excellent. Okay, I'll take that. It was a bit long, but had enough runway to not have to worry too much about fighting it. Camera traffic. Qantas 1377 crossing runway 1230 at Juliet.
Approaching
left.
12.
Regular public transport apron. this way. Just park up. Start up for you. Air traffic, Qantas 1377, runway vacated. So we'll get the lights off, coming into harbour. Stand 5, sounds like a lucky number to me. Lights off. Oh, I made a mess of that. Bit of outside cheat, shall we? The switch didn't quite register there for the strobes, so get those off. Yeah, something like that. Durst, brakes on. Timer set 55 minutes. Did pretty well there. He's on. Let the crew out. 2 blues. 1 red. Engine's dead. Well, finally, welcome to Canberra, ladies and gents. We'll look around at the scenery and we'll have a replay of that landing in a moment. Disconnect VATSIM. For 20%. Turn the beacon off. Go, off we go. There we go, ground power's on. Chocks in, doors open, punters out. This is Canberra. Terminal looks pretty good, somebody's done a really good job of that. Looks like it's a curved building in reality with jetways. Looks alright. Ortho's pretty bad. There's the runway, there's the rain. Taxiways look alright. Mesh looks okay, as do most of the overlays. The housing, standard XP stuff, but you know what, that doesn't look too bad. Left hand traffic, occasional bungalow. Bit of missing stuff over here, but it's alright. So, here we are. Screenshot of that. And let's secure the airplane up. Let's just see how much fuel do we use. We've got a 5-star landing off that. 0.87. 0.87 and do that. Just in case, do that. And let's talk of the old replay. Okay, maybe we should have come down that taxiway. It was, yeah, that was a wee bit wider. We took a narrow one. Never mind. Okay, let's have a watch of this. started off, but not perfect. That could have been better. The wind wasn't even that bad. See, there's still a fair amount of wind. I'll watch, see what it's like from a bit further back. Yeah, that was a pretty long landing if you ask me. Just outside the touchdown zone, or maybe just in. Okay, that looks a bit worse from the outside. I thought I kicked off the drift quite well. Anyway, crosswind landing practice. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and for Johnny, I hope that has helped. Feel free to come back with any questions. And hopefully we'll have a virtual airline to play with, and ProjectFLY will be working next time we do an Aussie trip. I'll see if I can square away some of my own ortho for the place. But until then, it's bye-bye from me. Thanks for watching, guys. I always appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good night, whatever you get up to, or a good morning, depending on where you are in the world. And until next time, look after yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.